We're here with the PSL Season 8 draft analysis for the Minnesota Mighteyenas. This draft is an amazing draft in my opinion, and I got some amazing mons with it. There are a few problems with it, but I don't think that they're anything big. And if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more Draft League content on the channel. So, for my first pick, there was a lot of things on the board that were really cool, but a lot of it got drafted before me. Like, a couple picks before me, Tornadus Therian went, Tapu Lele went like third pick. I don't know if Coco went, but I've used it a lot recently, so I didn't want to get Coco. Then Dragapult went, Mega Alakazam went, and since I was the 12th pick of the draft, I really didn't expect to get anything amazing, but I got one of the best mons in general in Landorus Therian. This thing gets so much. It's Defog, Stealth Rock, Knockoff, U-Turn, Stone Edge, Earthquake, Smackdown, Gravity. It does so much. It supports teams in so many ways. It has so many different sets. It's honestly one of the best picks, and managing to get it at the 12th pick is insane to me. I think that having Lando T definitely opens us up because it gives us so much right off the start. Now, for my second pick, I can't believe I got it. It was 24 picks later. A bunch of stuff went, but like Mega Scizor, that was the one I really wanted. Mega Scizor. Like, if I got Mega Scizor, I would have drafted Stall with Lando TM, Sizz, Goth, Chansey, or something like that. But Mega Scizor went like 3 picks before me. So I was like, you know what? I don't know how this thing's on the board. This thing's a round 1 pick in most drafts. Like, there's 24 people here, and it's been 24 picks since my last pick, 12 picks before my first pick, and Mega Gallade was on the board. This thing is such a beast. Like, it gets an insane move pool. It gets the entire move pool of Gardevoir, and then some. It gets a Leaf Blade, I think. It gets Poison Jab, Psycho Cut, Close Combat, Shadow Sneak, Sword Stance, Calm Mind, Wish. Like, this thing is crazy. It gets Teleport, too. It gets Wish Teleport. This thing is crazy. It's an absolutely amazing mon that I can't believe I got. Now, for my next pick, I really wanted Sylveon. I left it with somebody for them to pick it for me, and the person I left it with sniped me. So, I didn't get Sylveon, and I was like, well, fuck. I want Wish Pass with Lando, but like, I wanted it on a fairy. Clef is gone, Togekiss is gone, Florges is gone, Jirachi went like pick 4, so like, all the good Wish Passers are gone. So I was like, you know what, I'll draft Vaporeon. This was a panic pick. I shouldn't have drafted Vaporeon, to be honest. At this point in the draft, it does good, but later on in the draft, I draft him on that completely invalidates it. And Wish Pass with Lando isn't that important, so I messed up in drafting Vaporeon. Now, this thing gets Heal Bell and Wish and Scald, and Haze and Toxic, but like that's about all it does. Wish, Protect, Scald, Haze, Toxic. Haze or Toxic, so like this thing doesn't do much. Doesn't really fit the team well, and it was a panic pick. Just like, God damn, why'd you do this to me, man? Type pick. Now, my next pick is insane that it made it. It made it to the 82nd pick of the draft. It's one of the fastest mons in draft format. It's insanely hard hitting. It can run a couple different items. It's Weavile. This was the only mon I was interested in at this point. Nothing went that I was really interested in. So, like, I just wanted something fast. Like, yeah, Gallade's fast, but I wanted something over 120. Preferably over 122, because I really didn't feel like getting stomped out by Tornadus, which I play week 1. Like, I just didn't feel like losing Torn on the spot. So I drafted Weavile, and Weavile is a sick mon. It hits extremely hard. It gets a decent move pool with X-Scissor, Poison Jab, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Swords Dance, although what's letting Weavile set up? Like, maybe anything that's a Psychic type and slower than Weavile and doesn't have Colberberry, or a Ghost type and is slower than Weavile and doesn't have Colberberry. And Weavile also has to O-Cup. That isn't really the problem there. O-Coing with Weavile isn't that hard, to be honest. It's a strong mon. Like, it does 97% to max HP Torn, if I'm correct. So, yeah, Weavile is an amazing mon, and I felt paired with this team really well. Now, my next pick, I needed a fairy. I was like, I'm not going another round without a fairy. Going another round without a fairy means I'm going to be stuck with something like Clefairy or Togetic, or something that's not fully evolved and not very strong. So, I was looking at the board, and the two I were interested in, one of them was Weezing. Galarian Weezing would have been sick, but I didn't go with it for reasons you'll see later on. And I went with Alcremie. This mon is really underrated. It gets Acid Armor, Calm Mind, Stored Power. Like, what more do you need? It gets Mystical Fire to drop attack, and if you want to send in a Steel type on it, unless you're like Stack Attacka, now you lost a ton of your health. It gets, I don't think it gets Moonblast, actually. But, to be honest, that's fine. This thing doesn't need Moonblast. It's fine with Dazzling Gleam with all its setup. And it has, I think, a 132 defense. Not defense, but F. Which is amazing. Like, that's a little bit lower than Florges'. Florges is at like 150, I think. No, like 160. Which, that's 28 points. That's not a lot. Like, Alcremie is really, really bulky. I think it has a higher physical defense than Florges too. Definitely has as good of a move pool, at least. It gets Recover. It's an amazing mon with good recovery, a good move pool, great setup, great stats. Definitely doesn't get the credit it deserves. My next pick, I was looking at something bulky. I just wanted something bulky on the physical side. I wanted something that could take a hit on the physical side and scare you out after. And I didn't have a dragon on the team, and I was looking at it, and I did benefit from a dragon. Like, I didn't really take on, I did benefit from a dragon. Having another electric switch in for Vaporeon, and just a mon that punishes physical attackers was great. I went Druddigon. Druddigon is a more bulky, slow Garchomp without the ground type, so it doesn't have to worry about ice type moves as much. It's an amazing mon in my opinion. It hits hard, and if you want to click a physical move, you get hit by Rocky Helmet, and then you get hit by Rough Skin. So, like, Melmetal, have fun, buddy. Click Double Iron Bash. Now you lose a ton of your health. I get into Gallade for free. I get into Lando for free. And you're dead. I even get into Alcremie for free, I think, because you're extremely slow. Now, and I think Druddigon doesn't have a bad move pool. It gets Earthquake, it gets Dragon Claw, it gets Fire Fang for sure. It gets Stealth Rock. So I think it just fit the team really well. Now my next pick, I sniped someone really hard. Like, they even tried to make trades with me after the draft. Like, they offered me plus Cephalon. Yeah, sorry, buddy. This mon is basically irreplaceable. Now, I was originally going to grab regular Scizor, but that got sniped like 4 picks before me. So I was like, I have the room for a tier 1 still, and to still get a good draft. I'd have to get 2 tier 4s with it, but to be honest, I'm fine with that. There's a decent amount of good tier 4s. And then I was like, you know what? In tier 1, there's Excadrill and Heatran. Round 7 Heatran, that's just a joke. At this point, not expecting Heatran to have already been sniped is kinda stupid if you ask me. Like, Heatran is like a first 3 rounds type pick. I only picked it because it was on the board and Scizor wasn't. Like, I wanted Scizor for the recovery and defog, which I don't have a lot of. So, Scizor would have been better for the team, but I'm fine with Heatran. It's a good mon. It's a fire immunity. Sorry, guys. It's like 3 in the morning. It's a fire immunity. It's a free switch into ice types, which Lando hates. It's a free switch into bug. It's a free switch into grass. It's a great mon in general. It's a pretty good Melmetal switch in if Melmetal is banded. Now, against this team, I really don't see why you bring banded Melmetal. Like, you click Earthquake. Oh, I go into, like, I have Lando T that cancels out your choice band. And I could run Rocky Helmet on Lando as well. I have Druddigon for taking Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin Chip. I have Heatran. You click Bash. Oh, I just go into Heatran now, and I get free chip on something because Heatran hits like a damn truck with Magma Storm, Earth Power, or Flash Cannon. I think being unresisted by every type, unless you're, yeah, I think that's unresisted by every single type in the game. So, Heatran is just an amazing mon and was definitely worth it. Do I think it was better than Scizor for me? To be honest, no. Scizor definitely fit better. But I'll be fine. Now, my next pick was another tier 4, and it just fit this team so well. Like, I didn't have an amazing Edgequake answer from fighting types, because a lot of fighting types do get Edgequake coverage. Like, sure, I have Lando T. I don't want to use Lando T as a bulky pivot in every game that I face a fighting type, because a lot of fighting types also get Ice Punch. So that means if this was my only Edgequake switch-in fighting types with it, Lando T would have to be Yachi Berry in half the games with enough speed to outspeed whatever it's switching in on, and bulky enough to take hits. It would make Lando so worthless on my team, but so necessary that it would just suck. So, I drafted Weezing, which is the reason I didn't get Galarian Weezing. Now, if I knew Scizor was going to be sniped, I would have got Galarian Weezing. Like, Galarian Weezing probably was the better pick. But, you know what? It'd be like that sometimes. And regular Weezing's still amazing. It gets Will-O-Wisp, it's a status absorber, because it doesn't really care about T-Wave that much. Like, it cares about T-Wave a lot less than Weavile. It's a mon that, after fulfilling its role for the game, which Weezing is normally the kind of mon that it gets thrown on, but it doesn't do a crazy amount in that game. Like, it does something, but you could throw it in on a Spore, for example, if you're playing a Breloom, and you can't afford your Weavile getting spored. You could, or now they probably click Mach Punch or Spore on your they could click Spore on your Switch, but it's more likely they double or click Mach Punch. Breloom was a terrible example, because, like, Breloom wouldn't click Spore unless Weavile was guaranteed to not be Sash, but whatever. Weezing also gives you Toxic and Will-O-Wisp. I don't know if it gets Thunder Wave, but I think it does. It gets T-Spike, it can be a grounded poison if needed, it gets Levitate if I need. It just fit in really well. Now, Galar Weezing might have been a little better over Alcremie, but I think regular Weezing fits just fine, and I'm fine with Alcremie as well. Now, my next pick was my tier 6. Now, the whole pool for tier 6 is just absolute garbage. Like, the best mons were like Whirlipede, Quilladin, Wailord. Nothing I actually wanted. So I was just like, you know what? I'll take Quilladin. I'll have Spike stacking without a spinner. And it could just be useful. It won't. It won't be. This thing's not doing a damn thing. So, like, I really could have just let it sit and then grabbed, like, Pichu from tier 6 if needed. Like, I really didn't give a damn about my tier 6. I don't know why I picked it so early. But, hey, we have the Quillen. And my next pick, I actually really like. I was originally going to get Magneton, but that got sniped. But I think this mon is a little better for the team than Magneton. It offers screens if needed. It is a lot faster. It is just a really good mod in general. And it is a Alolan Raichu. Also, if we end up playing Tapu Koko, I do not know if it's in my division or not. Well, because with how the divisions work, it's one giant draft pool of 24 players, but 2 divisions of teams, since each division plays in playoffs. So, like, they had a problem with repetitive teams in playoffs, like seeing too many Melmetals and Celesteelas, for example. So they decided to make it one pool. Now, I feel like 24 people with one pool to split it into 2 divisions is kind of annoying. Like, yeah, sure, there's drafts would definitely be a lot more broken if it was 2 pools. 12-man drafts just aren't really my thing, because then you end up looking at teams with Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Megalopony. But getting back to this mon hits hard, like really hard. It has, I think, a 115 special attack, 120 special attack. It's really fast. It's Volt Switch, Psychic, Psyshock, T-Bolt, Grass Knot, if I'm correct. It gets dual screens. It's not terribly bulky. Like, it can take a hit with screens up, and since it's so fast, you can almost guarantee you get screens up if needed. And I think it's a very, very good tier 4 pick. Now, my final pick was a pick that this was the reason that Vaporeon's so bad. Quagsire. Quagsire is great. It's better than Vaporeon in my opinion. And because it gets 2 good abilities. Like, I can't even name Vaporeon's other ability. Like, Quagsire gets Unaware and Swift Swim. Swift Swim. Yep. This thing gets Swift Swim. We're definitely going to make use of Swift Swim without a rain team. It gets Unaware and Water Absorb. 2 great abilities. So if we need a Vish check, although Vish isn't in my division, I'm honestly annoyed that I have 2 Water Absorbers. Don't have to play Vish. Like, come on. But yeah, it gives me 2 Water Absorbers for even Greninja if needed. Don't know if that's in my division, but it gives me Water Absorbers for anything I need to use Water Absorb for. Now, Quagsire gives me Unaware. So, you want to set up? Oh, well, guess what? You're still not doing more damage than you would to Quagsire. And Quagsire has a little bit of Clefable Syndrome. It takes unreasonably strong hits for no reason. Like, whatsoever. Like, seriously. This thing takes so many hits for no damn reason. And then it gets toxic. Great for toxic swelling, to be honest. Its only weakness is grass, so you almost know that grass moves are always coming. And they don't, hidden power grass isn't a thing. So, this thing is great. Same with Lando. I didn't mention that before with Lando and Heatran. As well as, I didn't mention that before with Lando, Heatran, and Weavile. Now, Weavile isn't taking a hit anyways. Like, who brings hidden power fighting for Weavile? Like, unless that's your only check to Weavile, because, like, your entire team's super slow, why is that your option to kill Weavile? But, Quagsire also gets really good ground moves and water moves, which hits a lot of things hard. Like, sure, it gets walled by Ferrothorn, but, like, Heatran versus Ferrothorn is not a 1v1 Ferrothorn's gonna have fun with. And I think that this team's really strong and pairs really well together. Like, oh, you're gonna click an ice move, have fun hitting Heatran. Like, Lando T and Heatran pair amazingly. Weavile is an extremely strong Mon. And yes, I know they went a little out of order with rounds picked. Like, it went, but I picked Lando T, Gallade, Alcremie, Weavile, Lando T, I picked Lando T, Gallade, Vaporeon, Alcremie, Weavile, Druddigon, Heatran, Weezing, Quilladin, Raichu, Quagsire. And this team just pivots really well for each other. And between Gallade, Heatran, Weavile, and Lando, most Mons don't want to take a hit. Like, honestly, the best Mons to take hits from this team are, like, Celesteela. And Celesteela still doesn't appreciate taking hits from Raichu or Heatran. And so I really think that this team came out well. Now, yes, there are some picks I'm not completely satisfied with, but it came out well enough for me. I think that it's a good draft that has few to no problems other than one Mon on this team having removal. You can all guess who that is. But yeah, other than that, this team came out great. I really enjoy it. And I think I'll have a lot of fun using it this season. Now, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know if you want to see more Draft League content like this. I have other leagues coming up and draft analysis to do for those. And hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.